Hi there, everyone. Happy Thursday. I am King 5 Meteorologist Adam Claibon. We got mountain snow ahead here, especially once we head on into the latter part of the day tomorrow and on through the weekend. And there will be multiple opportunities even as we head on into next work week as a cooler pattern is beginning to shape up for us. That will mean more rain for us here in the lowlands, but thankfully nothing too heavy. And since we're keeping a lot of the moisture in the mountains in the form of snow, it's going to be frozen up into the higher terrain and not stream all the way down into our streams, our creeks, and our rivers, and reduce any sort of at least extra flooding. Hopefully we'll continue to see those water levels continue to drop, but we are still noticing some breezy conditions here into the earlier part of our Thursday evening, and wanted to show you the max reported wind gusts here for today. And unlike yesterday when we were seeing quite a few of those 50s and numbers above 45 miles per hour, not the case for today. Seeing those generally between about 35 to 45 miles per hour. A little higher down that way around Hoquiam at 52 miles per hour. So a little less in terms of the wind and a little less in terms of rainfall that we're expecting here as we head over the next 7-day stretch. Not as high of numbers, only between a quarter to maybe an inch and a half up across more of the northwest interior, closer to Camano or Whidbey Island. And that is because we see that wide range because of that rain shadowing that we have up across the Olympic Mountains, and that's going to help to limit some rainfall amounts in a few locations, while others could see quite a bit more, and you can see higher amounts out towards the coast and across the higher terrain. But again, with a lot of that staying in the form of snow, we won't have to worry about as much of that finding its way down into our waters. All right, here's your 7-day forecast. Tomorrow, quite a bit cooler, 44 degrees, and we're going to see the 40s all the way into next week, including Christmas Eve and heading on into Christmas Day with a high of 43, kind of an outside look at your Christmas Day forecast here in the latter part of this week. Our Paradise camera up this way, you can see kind of wettish. We actually did notice that those snow levels started to spike, get up near 5,000 feet. So a little bit of a mixture here towards the tail end of our day on Thursday. While up this way around Port Angeles, cloudy skies, a few breaks in those clouds, at least giving us some thinner cloud coverage as we head on into the first part of the night, and seeing more of that too as we look here at Painfield up in Everett. Still a pretty wet day either way, as we've noticed most of those showers kind of light in nature, but still with us here as we head on into the first part of the night. 49 degrees, kind of breezy. Winds coming out of the south at 23 miles per hour, but the better chances of rain only hold on until about 7 or 8 o'clock tonight. After that, we should start to notice things starting to quiet down and dry out a little bit here as we head on into the night. Speaking of that, you can see where the deeper moisture is off to the south. That's where we're going to keep it. A lot of that atmospheric moisture will be traveling farther south here, closer to that Oregon state line, and that's where you have some of the deeper greens, some of those oranges and yellows popping up, indicating where you have some of that heavier rainfall down into those locations. Another thing too you're starting to notice is we're not seeing as much of that blue popping up across the Cascades. I mean, it was looking a lot more impressive earlier here into the afternoon and throughout the morning. For right now, though, we're just noticing some of that area actually in the form of a rain-snow mix or even just all rain right now as you look closer to Snoqualmie Pass. So we're seeing a bit of a transition period there, but we should transition back over to snow as we go later on into the night. That system will be moving its way on out of here. There's another one to come as we head on into the day for tomorrow. We'll talk about that here in a second. First, let's talk about the advisories and the warnings out because of that. Well, here we are. You're seeing a winter storm warning that has been issued for 4 o'clock tomorrow morning, and that will last until 4 p.m. on Saturday. Now, 1 to 2 feet of snow could be possible for Snoqualmie and Stevens Pass. For Mount Baker, the Paradise area, 2 to 3 feet will be possible in those locations. So this is going to go pretty far to kind of help those resorts that have been trying to get open here, heading closer to the Christmas Day holiday, that we can possibly maybe get that to be the case, especially with these types of amounts of snow expected here. As we just head over the next 2 to 3 days, again, there is more of a chance of seeing more of that mountain snow as we head on into more of next work week. So we'll see how that all comes together for us. First, let's talk about the near term, though. You can see Futurecast showing some of these showers moving on through. Now, south of Seattle here at about 9 to 10 o'clock, we're going to notice things beginning to quiet on down, and this is going to be getting towards the end of that Seahawks and Rams matchup tonight. We got football here at Lumen Field, and we're expecting conditions to be relatively wet at the first part of the game, drying out towards the second half of the game. Another thing you're noticing too is that that snow line is beginning to work its way back down the mountains again. So seeing some spots where it is showing up just plain old rain, like right here at Snoqualmie Pass, but as we continue on closer to midnight and late tonight, all of that switches back over to snow, and here we are at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning seeing more of the snow that will be out there. We'll keep that train going on into tomorrow. It will be off and on in nature, but some heavier pockets of snow will definitely be possible. Some rain showers will be around for those of us here in the lowlands. We'll see those from time to time, along with some sun breaks too, and more of that as we head on into the day on Saturday, as the showers just kind of become more scattered in nature, and we see more of that snow again across the higher terrain. That's going to hang with us from time to time into that stretch. So looking at rainfall amounts and really just overall precipitation amounts, because here in the lowlands, we're talking about anywhere between maybe 1/4 of an inch up to about 3/4 of an inch of rain ahead for us from now until early Saturday morning. You can see the higher amounts up across the higher terrain, 1 to 2, possibly 3 inches of precipitation. Again, that's going to be coming down generally in the form of snow, because our snow levels will be coming down from 5,000 feet all the way down to 1,500, 2,000 feet. Starting up into the day on tomorrow, kind of hovering there until we head on into later next week. Before Tuesday and Wednesday, you can start to see they begin to climb back up yet again. But for the near term, again, we're looking pretty good and decent as far as the amounts of snow that we're expecting, anywhere between that 1 to 2 foot range, between 2 to possibly 3 feet for Mount Baker and Paradise. Crystal Mountain, we'll try to see how much we can get there as well. But should be a pretty good snow producer here over the next 2 to 3 days. And overall, the system, well, it's going to be heading our way as we head on into the weekend, bringing more of this active weather, more of the opportunities of seeing snow into the mountains. And you can see just that area of low pressure that's spinning out over the Gulf of Alaska. It keeps things active. It does take a lot of the heavier moisture off to the south, and so some of the atmospheric river moisture that's going to produce the heaviest of rain will be down into parts of Oregon and California. Thankfully not impacting us as much, but we get enough of it to continue to supply our mountains with more of the snow that we need as we have the cold air in place now to kind of do all of that. All right, here's your forecast. Heading on into the night, we drop down into the mid and upper 30s for lows. Highs tomorrow getting up to 44 in Blaine. We'll be up around 45 in Clinton, 42 in Maltby, 44 in Bainbridge Island, the mid-40s around Bremerton, 45 in Tacoma, 45 in Puyallup, and 45 degrees in Tenino. Here's your 7-day forecast. Expect to see the 40s with us here for quite some time. We'll have those lows in the 30s during the overnight hours. Winter beginning on a pretty winter-like note with those mid-40s and those mountain snow showers ahead for us on Sunday, and then heading later on into next week. We'll see what happens with that system heading into Wednesday and Thursday. Right now, looks like the heaviest of whatever we see as far as lowland rain and mountain snow will be on Christmas Eve. And then once we head on into Christmas Day itself, a lot of that should be out of here. So whatever is falling, especially if you're traveling, should be more on the lighter side. Okay, everyone. Well, make sure if you're going to be heading out tonight that you're taking it a little easy and that you're driving slowly on some of the wet roads that we're going to have. And if you're trying to drive across Interstate 90 over Snoqualmie Pass, heading on into the next couple of days or nights, take it very easily and carefully. And we'll talk to you soon. Be careful. See you tomorrow.